Mira, ahorita sí los locos que creen en esto. Que levanten la mano los locos que creen en esto. Ah, no pidas, no pidas. Yo estoy acá porque... Yo que estaba acá. All right.
Hi guys, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? I can't hear you. You guys ready?
Please welcome to Shlomo.
How you guys doing? My name is Shlomo Liran. I'm gonna start off first. By talking a little bit about myself, how I learned astrology and psychology together for about 14 years, and then I'm gonna do a Q&A. Before I start, I want to say thank you to Hashem for everything, for all the knowledge He brought me. So, Bezat Hashem, I can help you guys have self-awareness and understanding of how to deal with yourselves. Boom.
Don't be afraid.
Oh, Hashem. Okay.
Before.
All right, so
Before.
much better. Okay. Hello. Okay. So Hashem created the world with the four elements: fire, which is the sun; earth, which is the ground; water, which is the ocean; and air. You ever wonder why somebody who can't sit still was all over the place? That's an air sign. Air sign can't sit still, all over the place. Air is communication, always talking. Earth are more grounded, stubborn, they're logical, they're Oh, Hashem. Oh. Right here, much better? Okay, perfect. Then we have the water. Water signs are very emotional. Water's imagination. If you ever look at the water's deep. Water's creativity. You throw a thought there, eventually all the thoughts will come together. Water signs will feel your pain. An earth sign will understand your pain logically. A fire sign is more energy, impulse, excitement, passion. Fire signs are more, they're very fast-paced. They like everything fast. They like impulsive. They like adventure. Meanwhile, the earth sign is more grounded. So a fire sign is going to go to earth sign and say, hey, let's go to this party right now. He's like, wait, I didn't plan it. I'm an earth sign. Let me see who's there, what's going on. So there's the four elements, and each person, gets along with somebody in a different type of way. For example, if you're an air sign, fire is more likely to be good for you because air and fire are compatible with each other. So for example, fire gets lit up quickly. Air either makes the fire even more or puts out the fire. Water and earth go together. For example, water needs earth for stability. When water is around earth, it's more stable. Earth needs water to live because earth could be so the same. They're like routine. They're into the same thing over and over and over again, and they don't like change. All of a sudden, water gives them a little bit of life. It's I don't know how much you guys know about astrology. I'm talking about the elements right now. However, earth signs are Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Air signs is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Water signs is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Fire is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The best match for your sign is usually the opposite of you. For example, Aries, very fast-paced, all over the place. Libra is their opposite. Libra's more calm, more balanced. You usually need the sign that's going to be the opposite for you. Most people think, I want this type of person, I want that type of person. Sometimes it's not just what you want, sometimes it's what you need. Do you get what I'm saying? For example, if you're an Aquarius, Aquarius means their freedom. They hate to be tied down. Now, if you need your freedom, and then you're with a Cancer, and a Cancer's overprotective, and they always want, there's a little problem there. However, once you understand that where the other person's coming from, you could work on it. You know, people ask me all the time, you know, if I'm this sign and you're this sign, that means we can't get along? No, we're Jews. We're above the Mazal. What does that mean that we're above the Mazal? What does that mean? It means we have the power to work on ourselves and to change it. But the only way to change it and to work on yourself is to be self-aware. So once you're self-aware, you can work on it, and then it's easy. Not easy, but easier. For example, I was a person who was very misunderstood. Oh, I was wild. I was a crazy kid. I still am crazy, but not as crazy. And that's how I got the science. I understood, why am I different? What makes me different than this person? And I started understanding where I'm coming from. I started comparing to myself to other people and going, wow, okay, once I know this, now I could work on it. For example, Scorpio is a very jealous sign. But if you're aware of it, you could use that jealousy in a good way. Everything, every quality that God gave us, you can use it in a positive way. Most people are just running into a wall though. Because if you don't know where a person's coming from, then you're constantly going to fight with them. You're going to go into, why is he like this? Why is he like this? Why is he like this? But all of a sudden you go, he's like this because he's an air sign. He can't sit still. That's why. Oh, okay, so you can expect the air sign to be late because they have no concept in time. So you know, okay, I can expect that. So once you expect it, you're like, okay, it's cool. I can deal with it. You know, if, you know, you have a friend who you want them to just, come on, come out with me. Let's go right now. Let's have fun. But you understand they're an earth sign. You got to give them a warning. You got to plan it out beforehand. Then they're going to be like, okay, I understand where this person's coming from. So a lot of times people are dating other people and they're going, I don't think this person's for me. You know, any person can be there. Any person can be right for each other. It all depends on work. That's first of all. Work, patience, and understanding. Once you understand, you can really get along with anybody. Today, I can get along with anybody. I can adapt to anybody. I'm not one sign, I'm all the signs, because I learned all the signs, and I learned from other signs how to be. You know, like earth signs, they listen to 3, 4, 5 conversations at a time, because they're always aware of their surroundings. You know, air signs are very curious. You know, you want to entertain an air sign, you give them knowledge. A Gemini, you know, if you know a Gemini is attracted to brains, for example, then you're going to talk smart things with a Gemini. You got to know each person how to react with them. You know, every person has a button. You just got to know how to click it. The only way to know it is to learn it. The only way to learn it is to learn yourself. Once you learn yourself and you're comfortable with your insecurities, with your negative traits, you go, I'm angry, I'm impatient, I'm this. But that's okay, because everybody has negative characteristics. Now, what am I going to do about it to work on it? Once I work on it, I can rise above it. I'm good. This is how God gave me. You know, this is what God blessed me with, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the best person I can be. You know, I can go on and on and on and on. You know, I know we're a limited amount of time, so I'm just, you know, going out there and just talking about a lot of different subjects. So what I'll do right now, if you guys have any questions, I could do a Q&A if you want. Does that sound good?
You mentioned it in the beginning. Please repeat it one more time, the various 4 elements.
The 4 elements?
And which signs are which.
Okay, so there's fire. Fire elements is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Then you have water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And Earth, which is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Earth and water go hand to hand. Fire and air go hand to hand. So if you're a fire sign, fire also goes with fire, air goes with air. However, they all could be good for each other. It all depends, you know, if you want to work on it. You know, it's just more compatible, less compatible. It also goes by the year. It goes by your name. In those elements, the fire, water, earth, and air, we have that in anything in our lives. We have it in our names. That's how God created the world, with the otiyot, with the letters, the alphabet. So in the alphabet, you have mem, which is mayim. You know, you have each letter has also an element inside it as well. So it's not like because you're a Leo, you're just fire, or because you're a Scorpio, you're just water. No, you have a little bit of the elements in us. That's how God created the world. It's in us. But what dominates more and what less? You know what I mean? So usually when people ask me, try to figure out my sign or whatever, the first thing I do is I break down the element, whether they're earth, water, fire, air. After the element, then I start asking specific questions and I get to their exact sign. Any questions? Sounds like you guys want to hear me talk more. Anything you want to hear me talk about?
Cancers? Sorry.
Sure. Cancers are amazing signs. Cancers are actually, they're water. They feel everything. They're run by emotion. So if a Cancer feels good, they're going to do amazing. They feel like not so good, they're going to hibernate. Cancer's in their shell. It takes some time to get comfortable. So you got to be patient with Cancers. But once they feel comfortable, they'll let out everything. Now, Cancers have a very strong imagination, very good memory. They know how to put things together. However, they're so stuck in their imagination that they think of worst case scenario all the time. So when they're dating somebody, they're thinking about all the negatives, they live in that reality, and then they get scared, they close up. So same way you think of negative case scenario, Cancers, it's not fair not to think of the positive as well, because there's two sides to everything. Anything else?
Can you speak about every sign, like a little bit?
And a little bit of every sign. Aquarius, you want to hear?
That's the first one.
Aquarius, okay. Aquarius is an air element. Aquarius, now air and water are the two dominant signs. Water has no limit. Water can keep going and going and going. Air, same thing. Aquarius and Scorpio are the two dominant signs in the zodiac. They're the two signs that when they do something, they look straight without looking back. Meaning they don't think of all the negatives, they think of all the positives, how much they can do. Aquariuses love their freedom. Aquariuses are multitaskers. They can't do one thing at a time, they need to do 5 things at a time. Aquariuses hate to be told what to do. Tell them what to do, they'll do the opposite on purpose. However, they're very friendly people. They love animals. They love people. They want to change the world. But they suck at taking criticism. Anything else? Sagittarius. I love Sagittariuses. Of course, I'll do it all. Sagittarius? We'll start with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. That means you get lit up quickly, but you get put out quickly. Sagittariuses love excitement. They thrive off excitement. They get bored easily. They also need their freedom. Aquarius and actually Sagittarius is a very good match. They'll both travel and have a lot of fun together. Sagittariuses are they're night people. They stay up at night till they can't fall asleep. Once their energy's out, because fire, what does a candle do? Candle's lit, and then once it's at the end, boom, it goes out. That's when they knock out. So they're constantly excited. They're staying up, and then they knock out. Aries could be like that too, but it's mainly Sagittarius. A lot of fire signs are like that. Gemini. Now, Geminis have two sides to them, as we know. People call them bipolar. They're not really bipolar. Gemini has a really sweet side to them, believe it or not. Geminis can be very naive, very curious. They want to know everything about everybody. They're very curious side. If you're dating a Gemini, intellectual conversations. They don't really care how you look. If you talk to them smartness, they're attracted to you. They're into you. Aquariuses are Geminis are very adaptable sign too. They can adapt to people. They're people. They're either loved by everybody or they're hated by everybody. It depends how you push them. But they're suckers for love. They wear their heart on their sleeve. Just don't play with a Gemini's heart. They're very, very good people. Capricorn, one of my favorites. Capricorns are the hardest working sign in the zodiac. They love to work. They love success. A Capricorn observes everything around them. If I'm talking right now and somebody else is talking over there and somebody else is talking over there, the Capricorn will be eavesdropping a little bit here, a little bit there, because they need to be aware of their surroundings all the time. They want to make sure they're secure, they're safe. Capricorns are givers. They're large. Capricorn doesn't want anything in return. They have no expectations. They give without expectations. Meanwhile, a water sign, a Pisces or a Cancer will give, and be like, hey, how come you're not doing that for me? You're taking advantage of me. You know, Capricorn's like, no, I gave you, I'm good. You know, I don't need anything back. You know, however, Capricorns are very in their own head. They're overthinking also a lot. You know, they're Earth, so they're grounded. They're stable. They're stubborn. They're logical. You know, they're grounded. Anything else? Leo. One of the most powerful signs in the zodiac is Leo. Leos are fire, so they're also very passionate. There's two types of Leos. There's a loud Leo, there's a quiet Leo. There's a Leo that has a lot of energy, and there's a lazy Leo. A Leo could work 15 hours a day, and then after, sleep for like 15 hours. Leos like their comfort, they like their luxury. The thing Leo needs to work on the most is anger and ego and pride. Once they know how to navigate that and lower the flame a little bit, they could be with anybody. It could be a little bit controlling, however, it could be a good controlling because they know how to host. They care about their friends. They go above and beyond for their friends. Very generous sign.
What's your sign?
What's my sign? I told you, I'm a little bit of all the signs. I was born on Chavtet Cheshvan. Anybody else? Sure.
I was born exactly between Virgo and Leo, and I don't know which sign.
So I love that question. A lot of people, you know, they're cusps, so they don't know whether they're this sign or that sign. So what I do is I ask them a bunch of questions, you know, a few questions, and then we'll see what your sign is. You ready?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
23rd of August.
23rd of August. Do you know your Hebrew birthday?
No.
No. Okay. Do you listen to 3, 4, 5 conversations at a time? In a room? Yeah?
Yeah.
Like if I'm talking, she's talking,
Yeah.
you're going in and out.
Yeah.
Are you very hardworking?
Yes.
Do you take everybody else's problems and put it inside you?
Yes.
Do you suppress it? You don't let it out.
No. I let it out.
You let it out how?
Yeah.
How?
I don't I express everything
Verbally?
sometimes yes.
Or more writing?
And not writing.
Are you a perfectionist?
Sometimes yes, I am. But I'm not a Virgo. I don't feel like a Virgo.
You don't feel like a Virgo, so you feel like a Leo.
Yeah,
Do you get angry quickly, but you get put out quickly?
Wait, again?
Do you get angry quickly, but you get
Yeah.
calmed down quickly?
Yeah.
You have a lot of energy?
Yeah.
Or you could be very lazy?
I can't be lazy.
You have a lot of energy, so you're that Leo. So you're Leo.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah. Virgo. I was just explaining Virgo right now. Virgos. Okay, I'll tell you something that's really going to hit the button by you. Ready? You think of a logical thought, then you think of another logical thought that fights your first thought. If you stick with your first thought, you'd be right, but your second thought that you're overthinking screws you. Yeah? You're very hardworking. You work like five people.
No, that's a mistake.
Or they could be very lazy, either or. But Virgos they're workaholics in a way. You think too much. You take everybody's problems and you listen. Very good listener. Virgos are humble. They want to know. They're logical. They're earth. They're grounded. The problem is they stress too much. They don't need too much. Virgos are the unbreakable sign in a way. They don't break down in a way. They go through a lot of stress. And with their stress, they still help everybody. Very good people. But they can be very sneaky in a way. It's like they BS themselves with why they can do something. You know, they bend logic. You know, like Yaakov did in the Parsha. It's not me. You know, it's me. Esav is your Bechor. You know, same thing. You know, Virgos do similar things like that. Anything else? Libra. Oof, what a sweet sign. Libras. Libras are very gentle sign. Libras and Pisces. one of the most gentle signs in the zodiac. Libras feel everything around them. When a Libra's around negative energy, they start feeling that negative energy. For example, if a Libra's at work and he puts on his music and he's dancing and he's feeling good, and all of a sudden somebody comes in with bad energy, the Libra's going to start feeling like, why am I feeling this way? They're not going to understand why. It's because they're affected by everything around them. Libras are very easy influence. If they're around good, successful people, they will be very successful. They have a lot of potential, but they don't believe in themselves enough. That's why Libras are good with a pair. When somebody's pushing them, like if a Leo's with a Libra and pushing them to do right, they can go so high. Libras are amazing. Also, they don't know how to tell people no. They get taken advantage of a lot. They don't know how to cross that line, and they just avoid it. They don't explode at the person. They just completely cut them off. Anybody else?
Aries.
Scorpio.
I have
Aries.
another question.
Okay, let me do Aries first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Scorpio.
I got you on Scorpio.
I
One
want-
second. Let me do Aries.
I want to just say thumbs up for the Libra.
Thumbs up for the Libra. You like it?
Exactly right.
Thank you.
He's asking for Gemini.
We already did.
But it's very slow, Gemini.
So let me do Aries first, and then we'll. Aries, everything works fast by Aries. Their hair grows fast, their mind works fast, their nails grow fast. Everything works fast, they don't know how to slow things down sometimes. Aries is a very passionate sign. Everything they do with their full heart, their fire. Aries are leaders. They're born leaders in a way. Aries they're very big at center of attention because they know that they're unique and they want to put it out there. They love to be center of attention. Aries love to cook in a way. They love their things that they do. They get bored easily. They constantly need to be doing something. They can't just sit still. They're fire. However, Aries also gets angry very quickly, but then they get calmed down very quickly.
Aquarium.
Aquarius, we said.
Oh,
I started with Aquarius. Scorpio. Who said Scorpio? Scorpio is all or nothing. There's no in between with the Scorpio.
that's Gemini.
Scorpio is a very misunderstood sign. They might look crazy. They might look very intense. However, Scorpio, the way you treat a Scorpio is a secret. You treat them really nice. You can get anything you want out of a Scorpio. All depends how nice you are. Scorpio is pretty much a reflection of how you treat them. Scorpio is always calculating everything. They're not listening to what you're saying. They're looking at your body language, your tone, where you're coming from. Why are you saying what you're saying? Where are you coming from? Scorpio is born in Cheshvan, the month of Cheshvan. Cheshvan is Cheshbon, means calculation. They're always calculating everything. Scorpio is a very intense water sign. Scorpios, the three things they want is honesty, loyalty, and respect. So if you screw over a Scorpio, just tell them, be honest with them, and they'll probably forgive you. Anything else?
How does your rising sign play into this? Because my rising sign is Scorpio, but I'm Cancer. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you something I don't know. I'm not that type of person. How I learned all this was not by reading any books or anything like that. I learned it by analyzing people. I study the psychology and the subconscious behind why you're doing what you're doing. So all those stuff, I feel like confuse the person. So what I do is I just analyze based on their sign, their year, their name, the day that they were born as well. The Gemara talks about it in the Masechet Shabbat on the Kuf Nun Vav, about the day you were born as well, and stuff like that.
If we want to learn more about ourselves, where would you suggest us to learn that? We did not.
Yeah, so I have a website, thehoroscopeking.com. I have a Facebook fan page, Horoscope King. I do a lot of videos. I actually do videos, funny videos of me stopping people in the street and telling them about their sign and all types of stuff. Yeah, you could learn, you could learn over there. You could go on my website. You can, I do one-on-ones. I help people with relationships, with shalom bayit, with kids, with any situation. If you're dating a girl and you don't know how to react with her, I help you get that girl. Or if you want to understand the guy better, whatever you need, that's what I do. That's my full-time work. So if you guys need any help with anything, I'm here.
How much can you rely on like the characteristics and personality of each zodiac? Because you seem to rely on it heavily. Like,
So
to
for me, it's a statistic. It's a study. For example, Taurus is an earth sign that's very grounded, doesn't want to move. Now, if a Taurus grew up their whole life going from here to there, all over the place, so it might not. So my statistic is more like an 89% for the most part. I'm a very skeptical person. So the only way I learned this was going out to people going, are you a Leo? That means, are you like this, like this, like this? I did like a survey 1,000,000 times over and over. Before you know it, you're not asking, you're telling people. And that's what I'm doing right now.
But you said that there's more to someone than just their sign.
Yeah, there could be more things that play, but those normally doesn't really matter. It's just more stuff, But the stuff that I know are 100% accurate, for the most part.
Question.
Sure.
I have two questions. Basically.
Sure.
One of them is,
So you're a Gemini.
do you recommend to choose the zodiac?
Could you talk a little bit louder?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you recommend to choose the zodiac sign of your kids?
Did I do that?
Do you recommend?
It's funny. It's funny that you say that. Not necessarily, because really what God gives you, but 14 years ago, I said I'm marrying a Taurus. When I met my wife, I asked her what her sign was. She said Taurus. I said, marry me. 6 months later, engaged. A year later, married. I wanted my firstborn, to be a boy Capricorn. God blessed me with a firstborn Capricorn. I named him Gadi, which is Mazal Gdi in Hebrew, which is Capricorn. So,
Is it good?
it's great. Very self-disciplined. I don't have to tell him much. He already knows what he's doing wrong, what he's doing right.
Okay. You just answered the second question, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, my question is simple. Same sign couples, is that good or not good?
It can be good, and it can be not good. It depends if you work on it. It all comes down to work. Listen, the two signs, Aquarius and Leo, Scorpio and Taurus, Aries and Libra, they could be perfect for each other. But if one person's not working in a relationship, it's going down. You both have to work. People coming into a marriage going, I want him to have a BMW. I want him to have this type of job. No, don't be don't be the person who's wants him all set out and made, because you're never going to be happy unless you put in work. Love is about giving. When you give out of yourself, a part of you is loving the person. Now, if two people are not giving to each other, one person's giving, the other person's going to screw him over because he didn't give. Two people need to give, two people need to work. So any sign can be compatible. If you're an Aquarius and you don't really get along with Cancers, but you fell in love with this Cancer, you can make it work as long as Cancer understands that Aquarius needs that freedom, and Aquarius understands that Cancers are overprotective, so give them what they need. So it all comes down to understanding and work. So that's what I'm here to do, show you self-awareness, understand that there's a bigger picture, instead of just going into the wall over and over again. No, there's another way.
What's the differences between a Gemini, a female and a male in each sign?
Aquarius.
I love her questions.
Hey, wait. My wife is, I just find out. My wife is Gemini, Chaos, and I'm Aquarius.
Perfect match. Perfect match. Perfect match.
Tell her, she don't believe me.
Yeah, see, the question was, what's the
Between
No,
male
for
and
sure.
female in each sign.
I'm sorry? A male and female. Okay, so the male, there's the otiyot, right? The letters, the Hebrew letters, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, right? So Hey is Chokhmah. Binah is with Yud, right? So the woman is Binah, which is understanding, okay? Which is Hey. Chokhmah is the man. So the man is more logical most of the time, and the woman is more emotional when it comes to it. That's pretty much.
And the end of the day, you said that we can all work on ourselves. So how do you recommend us go, like, starting a relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic one, with our sign? Like you said, it doesn't matter if it's compatible or not, because we can work on ourselves.
So, okay, so what I suggest people do is write a list of things you want. Also write a list on things you need. Now, out of that list, if they check off, 70% out of it, what you need, then go for it. Love comes later, in a way. It's not like you fall in love, a lot of people make the mistake of having sex before marriage. Let me tell you, that's the worst thing you can do. Because you're already acting like you're married and you're not married yet. So when you get married, you're not really getting to the next level yet. So what's the point? You guys just screwed it all up. Now you guys are sick of each other. But if you guys wait and hold it off, once you get married, that's where the real love comes. Then you create a child together, then you guys build something together, and you guys have what's invested. But if you guys didn't invest yet, then it's just gonna fall apart. Anything else?
Don't listen to me about making babies, okay?
There is a difference between the Hebrew astrology and the Roman or the...
Yes, there's English and Hebrew. A lot of people ask me, how does it work? Does it work with English? Does it work with Hebrew? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Because certain people, their English birthday, it works. Certain people, it's their Hebrew birthday. So what I do is I ask them basic questions between both signs, and they end up answering which they are. Shoot.
Do you think many people are a lot of signs? Like you said, you feel like you're a lot of signs. So many things you were saying, I'm like, oh, I'm that. And then some things you were saying about my sign, I didn't connect. So.
Yeah, so you could have a lot of the elements in you, I told you, because your name, in your name, in the Hebrew letters is the elements. So you could be more earth, or more air, or more water in you, that you could be more. So yeah, good point. Yeah, in the back?
So, touching on that, so like, let's say you're an earth, you're an air sign, right? And you said each letter has a certain sign connected to it, a certain zodiac
Has
sign?
a zodiac sign, the elements. That's how Hashem created the world, with the elements.
Okay, so let's say you are born, the day you were born is an air element. But let's say 4 out of 5 letters are earth elements. Does that mean you're going to be more of an earth person, or air, or both? Or what?
You'll see for yourself. You'll be able to tell by yourself. But could be you could have both. Could be certain things you'll be more air, certain things you'll be more earth. It plays out. The only way I would know is when I analyzed it. You get what I'm saying? I haven't analyzed it to that extreme yet. However, I'm still learning. I'm learning every single day. I'm learning it for 14 years. That's how I live. In my mind, all my friends that I hang out with, I don't associate them by their name. It's by, let's say, Amos, who's a Taurus, Simcha, who's a Libra. It's like, that's what plays in my mind. So I'm constantly learning it.
But just as a concept, if you have more letters, like...
Yeah, you could have, to your name, you could have, let's say, more earth to it, then you'll be a lot more earth. But let's say you're all air in a way. You're going to be more air, It also has to do with the time you were born. Like she was saying, the rising, the this, the that. All that plays into the very, very detail of your personality, your characteristics. I just know the overview of, how it is. That's why I said my statistics are like 89%.
The horoscope on the regular newspapers and stuff, it's total baloney, right?
Yeah, I mean, Libra, today you're going to get taken advantage of. Aquarius, today you're going to need your freedom. Gemini, today you're going to be curious. I can do the same thing. I don't believe in it. However, there are things in the stars that are true, but that's why it says Am Yisrael is above the Mazal. Because constantly, if today, for example, it's true in the world, that's how they knew Moshe was born. Avram used to look at the stars and he saw that he wasn't going to have any children. You understand? So there is to it. However, the stuff that you read every single day doesn't apply to us. Why? Because we constantly can go pray. When you pray, what are you doing? You're showing emunah. When you're showing emunah, you're rising above it. When you give tzedakah, you're rising above it. You get what I'm saying? When you're working on yourself, you're rising above it. So if this day, you're supposed to be moody, but then you had a good prayer, it didn't have an effect on you because you're above it.
Do the stereotypes of each sign come from the elements?
I'm sorry?
Like the stereotypes of each sign, this person's curious, that person like is angry, whatever, do they come from the elements?
Yeah. So think about fire. Fire's anger. Fire's energy. Fire's passion. What is earth? Grounded, stable.
So all four in each element.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it logically for a second. Let's think. What does a fire do? Fire rises right away. What does earth do? Earth is so grounded. What happens with earth signs? People are stepping on the earth signs all day. People are taking advantage of earth, and they're quiet. But underneath the earth, what is there? A volcano waiting to erupt. So earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, they're calm, and then all at once, and then they suppress again. Suppress. See the earth signs laughing? Okay. Wow, I can go on and on and on.
Water, it flows, right?
I'm sorry?
Water, that's good, right?
We're going to do 2 more questions and I'm done for the night. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Water?
Water's good, right?
Everything's good. But water's emotion, water's imagination. Think about the water, for example. If you throw a thought in one side of the ocean, a thought in another side, eventually they're all going to come together. Somebody who's a water sign understands that. Water's imagination. Water could stop and picture that moment, that time, that detail. Because they're all imagination. Look at that water sign. She's going, that's so true. One more question.
What about like the moon and like the different
So it's funny that you say the moon. Cancer is actually from the moon.
I know.
That's why you're asking. Okay.
No, but also like Mercury in retrograde and like what is that?
The Gemara talks about it. I didn't go so into detail with it. I know Madim is Aries and Scorpio, which is passion, which is, they could be killers in a way, but then they could use it for the good. Every negative characteristic you have, you could use it for the positive. For example, Cancers, they're either big spenders or they're big savers, penny pinchers. There's like no in between. Leos, either they have a ton of energy or they're extremely lazy. They just want to lay in bed in comfort and luxury. All right, guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys, Bezrat Hashem, through this, you guys can rub above your nazal and find your zivug, Bezrat Hashem. Amen.
Conclusion, if you like someone, a guy likes a girl, just come to this guy. He will do some magic stuff, and she will come to you like that.
You guys could go on my fan page, The Horoscope King, and check out my website, thehoroscopeking.com, for anything you guys need. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.